Well, good evening, everyone. This is the July 13, 2022 meeting of the Auburn Conservation Commission. This meeting is being operated both as an in-person and remote format or a hybrid format under Chapter 22 of the Acts of 2022, but please be advised that unless the legislature does something differently, from now on, and effective as of our next meeting on July 27th, participation will have to be in person. Hybrid option will no longer be available. So, having said that, for those that want to join us remotely tonight, the public can join by dialing 1-408-650-3123 and using access code 942-845-549, or you can join via computer at gotomeeting.com/join/942-845-549. So all materials for tonight's meeting are available on the town's website, and the public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda for tonight's meeting. My name is Michael Garland. I'm chairman of the Conservation Commission, and before we begin tonight's proceedings, I want to confirm who is present this evening. So when I call your name, please answer in the affirmative. Tom Fallon? Present. Michelle Colross?
Present.
Patrick Cunningham?
Present.
Okay. I know Megan Langley is absent. I don't know if Catherine Nordberg is trying to join us remotely. I do not see her on the screen, so I'm going to presume she's not joining us. And also, Keith Heselton.
Present.
All right. This meeting is being recorded by Auburn Cable Television and will be available for viewing later on, especially if you are suffering from insomnia and need something to put you to sleep later on. That was a joke. The first meeting on tonight's agenda is a 7 p.m. public hearing. The Town of Auburn and notice of intent to control invasive and nuisance non-native aquatic vegetation with the use of certain herbicides and algicides in the areas of the Packagug Golf Course, Irrigation Pond, Eddy Pond, and Pondville Pond. Is there a motion to open?
So moved.
Is there a second?
A second?
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's a vote. So we continued this matter from, I think, the last 2 public hearings because we were awaiting receipt of material safety data sheets for the herbicides and algicides that the town was proposing, or the town's contractor was proposing to use. I note that in fact we have received those, and so that being the only reason why the hearing had been continued, I don't know if any of you have questions concerning the submittals that we did receive. Any questions? Any questions? In that case, there being none, is there a motion to close?
Make a motion, we close the public hearing.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
If I could talk for 1 second.
Oh, there
Is
you
that
go.
okay?
Hello.
Yes, this is Dominic Maringolo from Solitude Lake Management. I just wanted to make the commission aware that Natural Heritage Endangered Species Program has issued a letter regarding Eddy Pond in particular, where they did have 2 endangered species, a butterfly and a dragonfly, and they have requested additional information. Specifically, they wanted this biological survey of those for the presence of those 2 species.
Okay.
And also requested some flow information on the flow through the pond. Reason being that once the presence of those species is identified and where they are, that we may be able to still proceed, showing that the herbicides would not make it based on where we're treating them and where the endangered species are located, that there may still be an option to be able to move forward with the treatments there. I'm sure there may be some other options too that haven't come forward yet, but everything's fine for Pondville Pond and the irrigation pond. Those were not, there was no issue there. But the commission, and I don't know if the commission can approve the project with the condition that we would have to abide by Natural Heritage's final decision, or whether you folks would rather continue again. I think the town is evaluating a certified biologist that would be able to do this work. So that could take a little bit of time.
How much time do you think it will take?
I wasn't able to get in touch with anybody today. I had sent them a couple consultants' names a while back, and I have not heard yet from the DPW whether they've reached out to those folks. I think if they move forward with selecting a consultant and getting the surveys done, I mean, we could be talking about, I would say, at least a month.
Okay, so
Before we would
it occurs to me that well, first of all, we'd like to see the letter that you received, obviously. What we could, I think, do is, I mean, we don't normally issue orders of conditions on a piecemeal basis. I'm mindful of the fact that based on your representation, the golf course, irrigation pond, and Pondville Pond are not apparently affected by any endangered species or potential problem with that. So I don't know that we can reserve on Eddy Pond and approve it for the other two areas. Tom, what do you think?
I think I concur with you, but yeah, I think we might need to wait until we can get it all done and just do it all at once.
What you could do, or one possibility, Mr. Marangolo, would be for you to actually withdraw the application for Eddy Pond. And if you want to do that and then resubmit along with the additional information, we could consider that in August or whenever you think you're going to be ready. I'm going to really leave that option up to you because I know this has been pending since May, so it's been almost 2 months. What's your preference?
I'm gonna have to bounce that off the DPW to see what they want to do, because it would obviously incur to have to come back and do a separate NOI for Eddy Pond. I need to get their okay for that.
All right, so why don't we do this? Why don't we just continue the public hearing then? Our next meeting is going to be on July 27th. Is that agreeable to you?
Yes.
Okay, so is there a motion to continue the public hearing for the town of Auburn?
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
Okay. Is the Class 2 drought in Massachusetts going to affect this one way or the other, do you think? Using one way or the other, do you think that the Class 2 drought that's going on in Massachusetts is going to affect what you're doing?
No, not necessarily. No, I mean the water levels get lower. There's this has happened obviously in the past, and from year to year there can be drought conditions. Sometimes it causes the weeds and algae to grow more prolifically just because of the higher temperatures and lower water volumes and more stagnation. But we have that to some degree every year, so I don't see any specific issues with the current drought conditions. Yeah. And I will forward Keith the letter we received. I apologize. I would have thought that Natural Heritage would have sent that letter to the commission as well, so I thought you were aware of that. But
no, we were.
I will forward him a copy.
Okay. So, any other questions?
No.
Any questions from the gallery? There being none, is there a motion to continue the public hearing for the town of Auburn to July 27th?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
And what time would you put that down for, Keith?
Currently, we can leave it at 7 p.m.
All right, so, all right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's a vote. All right, thank you for for providing us with that information, and we'll see you in 2 weeks, and hopefully there'll be a resolution at that point.
Great. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Take care.
I messed up my papers.
The next matter on our agenda is a 7:05 public hearing. An abbreviated notice of resource area delineation for property located at 12 and 14 Auburn Hill Road. Is there a motion to open?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second?
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, it's a vote. And is anyone here on behalf of Mr. Scott? I know the property owner's here. Good evening. So, Mr. Fallon and I went out this past Saturday and walked the property to basically confirm the wetland, basically the delineation of the wetland area. Based on our observation, it appeared that the wetland, as marked in the field, was accurately rendered or represented on the plan. Any questions? Okay. Any questions from the audience? All right, there being none, is there a motion to close?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, it's a vote. Okay, so we will be rendering, or should be able to render an order this evening, and you'll be notified. So thank you for coming in. The next item on our agenda is a 7:10 public hearing. Brendan Greeley, notice of intent for a property located at 4 Washington Street. Is there a motion open?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
It's a vote. Is there anyone on behalf of Mr. Greeley?
Yes.
Okay.
Commission members, Dominic Rinaldi with BSC Group on behalf of the applicant.
Okay.
Sorry, I of course grabbed the one tripod that doesn't really seem to work. I don't know if you look, because there's a...
Okay.
Set this
Probably the best spot.
Yeah, in fact, maybe you can put it right on top of...
right on the
Right,
files.
maybe right on here.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Good evening. Again, Dominic Rinaldi, BSC Group, on behalf of the applicant. The owner of Architectural Fireplaces at 4 Washington Street. We're here requesting that the commission issue an order of conditions for the construction of a single-story prefabricated metal garage building on their existing property. To situate you, so the existing property is a commercial building, 1-story, generally prefabricated metal building that they use for distribution and sales off of Washington Street. There are 2 wetlands sort of on adjacent properties, one to the north, just off the property, and another associated sort of to the southwest. It's associated with the diversion channel. The project consists of, as I said, construction of a 1-story prefab building. Basically, it's a 3-bay garage for them to park their trucks in overnight. They have had some issues with theft and vandalism when they park their trucks out in the open overnight. So they'd like to do this to protect the property. The building is just outside of the buffer on each side, but we still felt it appropriate to come before you with an NOI. As I said, simple prefab metal building on a concrete pad, and to deal with the additional stormwater runoff from the additional impervious surface, we are proposing a infiltrating bioretention area in the existing grass area sort of to the southwest of the building. Wetlands, both sets of wetlands were delineated by BSC last fall at the same time that we did the survey. We will ultimately be going in the not too distant future for site plan approval with the planning board as well. But we're here before you tonight. I would gladly take any questions.
So will the platform with the pad have to be poured?
Yeah, it's going to be cast in place concrete, basic slab on grade.
What's the depth?
I believe it's about a 12-inch pad, maybe, just to support but the pad will be a grade. We have to do a little bit of regrading on some of this existing pavement just to get it level for the entrance, but other than that little bit of disturbance in the additional pad there, most of the site is staying exactly as it is today.
And how long to put up the building?
couple weeks probably.
It'll take that long.
Yeah, I think you gotta let the pad cure. You gotta pour the pad, let it cure for at least 7 days, and then while it's a prefab building, you know, I think, you know, there's the basic setup. I mean, good contractor might be faster, but generally speaking, I would say it's a couple of weeks.
Gotcha. And when are you going before the planning board?
We're going to be submitting their schedule. They were only doing one meeting in July, so we're going to go for the August. I forget what the exact date is. We're going to be submitting next week, and it's early August.
Okay. So, I don't know if you've ever appeared before us, but what normally happens is we get the applications in, and then we have our meeting, and we always like to take a look. So, I don't know if you're available this weekend. You don't have to be available this weekend, or you don't have to be there if you have other plans. But we would normally go ahead and make a site visit.
Do
You
you
know,
do that on Saturdays or Sundays?
generally Saturdays.
Morning?
I mean, I think the weather's supposed to be good. I have a willing participant, so on Saturday, she has to do penance anyway, so we're planning to do it on Saturday.
I'm glad to know
That's
my
me.
project is penance. by the way.
Well, it's penance for her. So anyway, but seriously, we were thinking perhaps 9:30 on Saturday.
Yeah, 9:30 works.
All right, terrific.
Yep.
And you agree there, therefore you'll let to continue this matter to our next meeting on July 27th?
Absolutely.
All right, terrific. So we will see you at 9:30 on
Saturday,
Saturday.
9:30, just meet at the site.
Yes, sir.
Excellent.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Can I have a motion to that effect, please?
Make a motion, we continue public hearing to July 27th.
7:10.
7:10.
Okay.
Second?
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, very good.
Excellent. Thank you very much. I'll see some of you on Saturday and I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
All right, very good, thank you.
Take care.
We have received let's see, it's not quite 20 past, but the 7:15 public hearing for 15 Bridle Path, we received a request to continue this to our next meeting. So, is there a motion to continue the notice of intent for 15 Bridle Path to 7/27?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. We have a couple minutes before our 7:20 public hearing. So Tom and I also went out to Lindgren Honda on Saturday. We met with the engineer there who provided us with as-built plans. Did anyone call you? The engineer said he might call you. So anyway, this is the issue with the request for certificate of compliance. On one of the lots, there's a rain garden that has not been maintained, and there was some sweeping that had to be done on the driveway. So the engineer indicated that he was going to speak to the owner about getting that done. I think until that is done, we should wait until we issue the certificate of compliance. So I would just, keep it on the agenda for our next meeting, and hopefully between now and then we will hear from them.
Okay.
Okay, we have 2 more minutes. So Mass Electric is looking for a certificate of compliance for their solar interconnection project.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me more.
Tell you more. I can bring it up on screen, actually. So, this was actually related to a project that occurred on Pondsville subdivision.
Okay, this was several years ago, right?
Yes. Let me see exactly when. 2021.
Okay, so a year ago.
Yes, not several.
It just seems like several years ago, that's all. All right.
Oh, right, the installation of the poles.
Right.
Yeah.
and they were kind enough to produce pictures. So I don't know that we necessarily need to go out there and look at them. I mean, I'm content or satisfied to issue, and they also gave us an as-built. So I have no objection, we're not having an objection to issuing a certificate of compliance for this.
I've driven past many times, there are light bulbs.
There you go.
And actually, if I remember correctly, there was one abutter that came and said if they could just move the light pole like 3 feet to the left off their property. And I don't think we've heard from her since, so
Okay, all
it
right.
worked out.
In that case, is there a motion?
Make a motion that we issue a certificate of compliance for Mass Electric Company for their solar interconnection project.
Is there a second?
You go.
Second.
Okay. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, it's a vote. Okay, and finally, it is 7:21. And the next item on our agenda is a request for determination of applicability for 6 Carriage Drive, replacement of a failed septic system. Is there a motion open?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay. Would you be Mr. Smith?
Yes, I would.
Brilliant, huh? Brilliant. Why don't you come on up, please?
Thank you.
All right. So, tell us your tale of woe.
I'm sorry?
Tell us your tale of woe.
My tale of woe is the house was built in 1975 with, I guess at this point in time, an outdated septic system design. And we are selling the house and it failed Title V. So they had to also look at some wetlands because they have wetlands down behind my property.
Okay.
And they had to kind of redesign the the septic system design, I guess. I don't know the specifics, but, I know it's going to cost me about $40,000.
Is that right?
35 anyway, yeah.
So, fair to say the sale's contingent on replacing the septic system, right?
Yeah, and it's been approved by the Board of Health, and
Okay.
The survey's been done, and the engineering study and the perk test and all those things that we needed to get done. And we're hoping we can get it done by the end of the month if the weather cooperates.
Understood. How close are you to wetlands? Here?
I don't have the exact, I'm guessing about 120 or 130 feet.
Okay. So,
Hello, this is Jeremy, DC Engineering. I'm on the phone.
well, hello.
Can you hear me?
We can
Hello. The septic system is actually 60 feet from the wetlands.
I'm sorry, say again, sir?
60.
60 feet from the wetlands.
Okay, and you are?
Jeremy, I'm from the engineering company, DC Engineering.
Okay, well, thank you, Jeremy. Yeah, so that certainly does trigger jurisdiction, although it may not, there may not be a requirement for a notice of intent. Mr. Smith, what we do is, and I think you probably heard the drill before, we would like to take a look.
Sure.
And I think Saturday's probably the day to do it. You know, if you are there, that's fine. You don't have to be there if you have other plans. But what I think we'd like to do is just take a look. We have the plan, and so we'll compare the plan to the actual conditions on site. And if that's agreeable to you, we'll continue the public hearing to July 27th.
Okay, does that mean the work will not be able to get started before the 27th?
Correct, because we need to take a look.
Okay.
Is that agreeable to you?
It means the purchase in Sable is going to be August 1st, so I'm just going to have to put some money in escrow, that's all. I was hoping I'd be able to get it done before the end of the month, but if I can't, I can't.
Well, we've got Jeremy on the line. So, Jeremy, you can actually be installing the system?
No, I'm just the engineering company. No, I'm not sure who he's going to hire to install the septic system. The existing system is just basically replacing in the same location. The old system was in. It's all within the backyard. The reason it's in the backyard is because of the 100-foot well radiuses from the adjacent properties and then his own well. So
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the only place the septic can go. So, I mean, it's 60 feet from the wetland.
Understood. Is there, so what's there now? Is there a failed, like is there a concrete box that's there now?
She might know, the owner might know better than me, but I think it was a failed cesspool, I believe.
So, I mean, that's important because if it's a cesspool, then
That's a,
that's a little different than if it was actually a failed system. You know what I'm saying?
There's two concrete boxes. Now, I don't really understand the technology, but there's
Okay.
the box coming out of the house, and then there's another box, another 20 or 30 feet from there,
So-
which is kind of a square box, I
So
believe.
those are gonna have to obviously be removed before you can put the new one in.
Yeah.
Has anyone?
Yeah.
Okay. Has anyone told you how long it's gonna take to install it?
It's somewhat weather-related, but if the weather cooperates and we get the approval, we can get it done by the end of the month.
I see. So this is kind of time sensitive.
can you read what these words say? Like, what do those
There's
say?
some of them that are quite difficult, their dimensions.
Let me see if I can blow up which portion.
It's that it's too blown up.
Let me see if I can bring it higher. Oops, not that way. How about that?
Ah,
That's
there you
better.
go. Okay.
Can you move it to the, more to the left, please?
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Other left.
Yeah, your other left.
40 infiltrator quick 4 chambers, 40 foot by 12.8 foot leach field.
Okay, that's
And how about
that.
on the other side?
Yeah.
There we go.
Cesspool.
Cesspool.
What are we looking at trying to read? I might be able to tell you.
Well, so it looks like it says the existing septic system cesspool and tank are gonna be abandoned. That doesn't mean it's gonna be.
Yes.
That doesn't mean it's gonna be removed.
Hmm.
It says.
Well, I mean, it all depends on how they fall. They will be removed or abandoned in place. A lot of times they just crush them, fill them with sand.
Okay.
That looks like it's. How far?
Well, it's a little over 60 feet away. I mean, what you could,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, the way you can address it would be to put in a silt fence, double stacked hay bales, just between the area of excavation and the wetland area.
But if it's straight.
Yeah. Actually, on the plan there is a erosion control barrier.
Yeah, I see.
Basically, it kind of wraps right around the whole entire septic system along the top of the slope and the tree line to protect any runoff to go into the wetland. That is shown on the plan.
Is there going to be a need to bring in fill material, Mr. Smith?
Yes, it's going to be loomed and reseeded.
That's after the system's installed.
Yes.
Okay. How deep is it going to be?
Yeah.
I don't know how deep that's going to be.
It's got a detail on it. I don't have my sheet of glasses. I can read it.
This is Jeremy again. The system is basically in ground. Basically, they're going to dig out the material and replace it. The only fill they're going to bring in is the new septic system sand.
Understood. Yeah.
That would be the only material they would have to bring in. Everything else would be coming out. There's not like a big slope or anything going down towards the wetland. It's pretty good material. It's gravelly material in there, so the system's able to be in the ground.
Okay, and it's pretty.
It's not up at the ground, and then they're gonna build the slope.
Is the site's level?
No, it's on a slope, but it's good material, so the system is able to sit in the ground because it perks very well. So there's no need to raise up the whole septic area and have a bunch of fill. The only fill will be actually to put the infiltrators on the sand. That'll be the only material brought into the site, and then maybe some loom to dress it up after.
Gotcha. Okay, well, I mean, we can go about this in one of two ways. We can either, based on the plan and the explanation given by the owner and the engineer, we can close a public hearing and insist on various conditions, or we can continue the matter to our next meeting in 2 weeks. So, Mr. Smith, what's your preference?
I'm sorry, could you explain that again?
Sure. So, you obviously come here tonight. We've heard from your engineer, and I'm grateful that Jeremy came on and was able to give us some further information. We can either, as I said to you before, we normally go out to take a look. You've indicated that you're under some time constraints because you have a closing date of really July 31st instead of August 1st.
Right.
So normally we would continue this to our next meeting, which is July 27th, based on what your engineer has said, based on the plan, based on what you're proposing to do. We could conceivably close the public hearing tonight, and we could issue an order, if that's your preference. I mean, it's buffer zone activity, there's no alteration of the wetland.
Yeah.
You're obviously replacing a failed septic system, although I think what is being put there certainly is substantially different than what you had there, but
Right.
I'm not sure that really matters, to be honest with you. So, I mean, I'll be happy to hear from the other commissioners on this. What's your thought process on this, Patrick?
I think that it would be difficult to fit it anywhere else, just judging by the slope of the rest of the property, as well as the 100-foot well radiuses that have to be avoided. It's an obsolete system, so you wouldn't be replacing it with something that was similar. So, you know, I think that in order for it to fit, it has to go right there. I think, you know, heavy equipment on a sloped area facing in the buffer zone should get some attention, but I think
Right, and we can account for that.
Right,
In
exactly.
our decision, so. Michelle, what do you think?
You can't put it anywhere else. So.
Okay. All right, you're satisfied that there's enough information on the plan?
Yeah.
Okay. Tom?
I agree.
All right. So, Mr. Smith, we will, is there a motion to close?
Make a motion to close the public hearing?
Is there a second?
a second.
Is there any discussion?
Nothing.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, so vote. So, Mr. Smith, we will issue a decision this evening, and you will get it in the mail, or you can pick it up.
Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right,
Is anybody else starting to melt in here? Or is it
yeah.
just me?
Second I walked in, but
it's okay. We are.
I didn't want to complain.
Really?
about it.
Oh, that's
We're-
fun.
We're nearly done.
That's great, and I don't like air conditioning.
So-
It's gonna get melt.
So the only thing we really have to do is the decision for 6 Carriage Drive. Is there a motion?
Go ahead.
No, you go.
Come on, Patrick. You're on vacation.
Yeah.
Good way to wrap it up.
Make a motion to issue order conditions
Nope.
to
This is a request or determination of applicability. So if
positive request.
a positive determination means he's got to file a notice of intent. Negative means we can go by what he submitted, and we can probably add some additional conditions.
All right, so I make a motion to issue a negative determination and issue a set of conditions being erosion control measures in around the site. No fill, even though he said no fill aside from the necessary, as well as just minimizing heavy equipment
No equipment in the
usage
wetlands.
in the buffer zone and wetland.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Hi.
All right, so vote. Okay. Is there any new business? So, Michelle, I will see you at Heritage around 8:45,
Yes, you will.
and thank you.
You're
And I
welcome.
hope the penance is not too harsh.
No, it's not too hard.
Okay.
I don't get to come that often. I like walking around the woods. It's fun.
It is fun, and I don't know if we'll have to walk through, but is there a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion we adjourn.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
It's a vote. All right, everyone, thank you very much. And for anyone, again, that might be tuning in, our fan base, if we have a fan base.
I don't think we have a fan base. How many people
Just-
actually watch this? Like 3?
But in all seriousness, like I said, we do have fans. But in all seriousness, effective the next meeting, our meetings will still be recorded, but participation will have to be in person and not remotely, unless the legislature does something between now and then. So, see you in a couple of weeks. See you outside.